Melissa. Melissa as well has been a hot ban here.
Bit of an understatement there, but I digress.
Maybe we could see it fall through. That's also another option. It could fall through the bans.
This is just a bit of pre-talk before the draft. It has a lot of interesting points in it that will directly reflect itself in the draft upcoming. But if you don't want to be in tune with all that stuff, you can definitely skip ahead. I'll drop a timestamp below. But that aside, enjoy.
Maybe one of these teams let it through. I'd be interested to see it. Maybe there's just a bunch of gifted Melissa players out here in the Africa region. Because like I said, across different regions, Melissa has fallen off. She's tapered off. She had a moment where she was kind of sitting at the top, and then she's kind of disappeared. A lot of teams got better at counting her. Certain picks rose up. Farsa did really good against her. She picked up. Tanks a lot, does extremely well. Martis, Lapu, all of these picks are very prio right now in the middle, and I feel like that kind of pushed Melissa down to the wayside. So, you know, but some of those picks have been banned out. We've seen the Lance banned out today. We've seen the Lapu banned out. Martis been banned out quite a bit. Farsa has been banned out a lot. So it could be an open season, right? If Melissa gets to slip through the bans, if a team that gets to pick her up, the bans stay true to how they've been the last 4 matches, could be a nice game for them.
Seeing a Melissa or a 1-1 ban, actually, I'm smelling it. Maybe even a Joy.
I feel like Joy's been a pretty often banned in the first pick here from the blue side, so that I feel like that would be probably the first one, or at least one of the first few bans between. I'm more interested to see if Faramus gets banned from blue side, because when Faramus get bans, it normally opens up the glue pick, and we saw that last time I called it, and there it goes. So there goes the Faramus ban. Now glue is immediately a threat for either team if it gets picked up. So now I'm wondering, will red side ban out the glue? I feel like it's in their best interest to ban out the glue here. Blue is free.
Is there going to be a Saber pick?
Nah, definitely not, man. Just a little.
We saw it in M3. We saw it in M3. It could happen now as well.
I mean, have Moba Zane. Okay. He really did play Saber. I don't think we'll get that here, man. I mean, glue's on the board here.
With the Kali
locked in.
and there's Voldemort.
Hey, look, I'm telling you, when the Faramus gets banned when you're on the blue side, these teams need to start reading that. If Faramus gets banned from the blue side, they have first pick. As soon as they ban the Faramus, you need to ban the glue from the red side. At least if you don't have a game plan. They could have a game plan. But if you don't have a game plan, you need to ban the glue because it's coming every single time. I've called this twice and it's happened both times, but they're hovering over Rizzo there, and I know you like that.
So now, right away, we're going to get to my major grievance, my overall complaint about this draft with Algeria here, and what kind of was their major blunder. So you can see Terizla and Valentina have been picked up. You're probably wondering, well, what's so wrong with that, right? First pick glue, Terizla plays well into it, and Valentina's always a strong pick in the mid lane. Correct on both of those calls, but something else we have to look deeper into when you're talking about the competitive scene and drafting is what exactly are these roles drafted for? The EXP, or the position 3, if you will, is normally picked up to be that counter pick, right? It's not really used to be blind pick, and especially on the red side where you're able to capitalize on the fact that blue side has 2 blind picks, the EXP is even that more important. But that aside, 2 main objectives for the position 3 is to not only be able to control the map, but additionally be able to shut down either the enemy's position 1 or position 2, that being the gold lane or the jungler. In this case, since they picked Terizla so early, they had no information on either one, and effectively with the Melissa and Martis pick, Terizla is pretty much null and void in this game on doing either one of those duties. But of course, Morocco also doesn't go through this unscathed. I have a tiny complaint with their draft as well, but it's not as drastic as the position 3 reveal was from the side of Algeria, but you'll catch that now and a couple of predictions behind it.
Surprised they went for the Martins. I feel like I would have went for something like the Farsa there, because I think now it gets banned out, right? Enemies already have Valentina. Normally the Farsa is in response. You don't want to go for the Eve. You don't want to offer up the utility there. Maybe things like Khadija could get picked up as well. Maybe a Lennox, a Lilia. But Farsa is normally that go-to answer, and them not picking it up will allow Algeria here to be able to respond with that, because they are going to get that ban right after this pick to start up that second phase of the pick and ban in the draft here.
So this was like the final nail in the coffin in my books for the draft from the side of Algeria. They go with the Kaja, which really didn't make a lot of sense with me, especially because they had to go into a Melissa, and then you're having to deal with the frontline capabilities from Glue and Martis. There's just no realistic way that the Kaja in the position 5 really profits. Something that they could have decided to look at was Grok. Him with the wild charge, you can't stop it with the go away just because he's invulnerable during that, in case you didn't know. So that's always an optional answer for Melissa. Even in Atlas, right? Just because Melissa has to take the Inspired, right, to keep her DPS consistent, they don't really take Purify at all. I don't know the last time you ever played a Melissa, but if you have, you played a couple of them, you know that you don't really see Purify on Melissa. So when Atlas is free at that point, or even something like the Minotaur or a Lolita, honestly, any set tank would be okay against Melissa just because of the fact they don't take Purify. So you're pretty much free reign to take any CC AoE roams that you want in the position 5. And just to further clarify about that point, the Atlas here would have been so good for them, especially because they're red side, because they can lock it in for that third pick, and then we go straight into the ban phase. And what can they take off the board at that point? Diggy, which is normally what you see at the professional level in these competitive matches to get paired up with Melissa. Because of that reason that she can't take Purify, it offers them that good disengage to counter out those type of AoE CC tanks. This is where Algeria could have made their final call, I think, in my opinion, to kind of save this draft. But since they missed it, I feel like it really killed their chances of being able to win this game, and it was completely uphill from there.
Are going to see a Kaja, but something that you didn't mention, we saw Kadita matchup versus Valentina, and we saw Smile from Team Egypt doing a lot of escapes with that Kadita ultimate. That could not be very useful, but in some cases they have right now 3 good ultimates on the side of Morocco, which is interesting for the Valentina to choose from. Melissa can be used to counter maybe the Kaja, and Terizla, the Glue could be used to reset the ultimate earlier. But this is the Kadita ban about.
There goes the Kadita ban. And that's what I was talking about. One of those picks that would do good up against this. So even though they had a nice performance up against it, they still want or seen one be able to have a good performance in the hands of Smile. Still something you want to ban out, because again, Kadita is a nice matchup here. It goes really good with the Glue once they can latch on its own with the grab. It's an easy 1-2 combination, just kind of how like the Kaja would have been a good one there as well. So I definitely like the Kadita ban. I'm not sure if you want to triple down on the mages and ban out a Farsa, but it is still an option here to get rid of. But I guess it really just depends on, maybe they ban out the lesser, or leave the lesser 2 evils. It might be the Farsa for them, but I personally might still try to ban that out, or they could look to ban out some roams here. Since they already have the Kaja, they have the set, or the single target pick off, you might ban out a set, but nope, they're going to ban out the Farsa, so they are going to triple down on the mages, Dakota.
I think there is going to be a Lancelot ban, actually. We saw how good Lancelot did against the Martis. Even if they lost, it still did very nicely, because he can escape, he can get out of CC, he can get retributions off on Turtle Lords. That CC immunity on his second skill, which is very good. But I think it's either going to be a jungler ban or a marksman ban. Maybe a Brody or a Kari. Because the team of Morocco is kind of tanky right now with that March, with that Glue. There is also the possibilities of it being no ban, which is also interesting. But we're going to see that Kari.
Waiting for too long.
You know, I'm not sure how much they like it over here in Africa, but something that normally gets picked up right about now, especially with this Kaja up against this Melissa, especially since Carrie and Cloud have been taken off the board, Leslie. Leslie would be really nice here. With the true damage, she can deal with that Glue, can deal with that Martis, but she also is able to deal and harass a bit on Iota, and obviously in the late game, she becomes just one-shot queen, popping anyone. It would go really good, well with the Divine Judgment, but obviously, maybe that's not their taste. The Brody could do okay. I just feel like it's hard to bank on, because you have to win the laning phase. If you don't, you severely fall off in DPS up against this Melissa in the late stages of the game. So it's a catch-22. It's a little hard to pull off. But look at this.
There is
no way. No way they go to Leslie.
Damn! Damn! God damn! 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 Damn!
Damn! Damn! Keep getting that Saber piece to us, which is very, very shameful. I see what you're doing, Team Morocco. You're playing with my feelings, but we're going to see a support ban. Another Saber. Every member has shown Saber so far.
I've been showing it. If I'm the side though here of Morocco, I'd absolutely want the set tank. You're facing Super Marco, single target. That's the way you kind of match up against that. It's more of a threat in the early mid stages, but late game when you're talking about 5v5s, you can pull off a set roam here. It'll go really well and take you really far because the opposing side has to execute and burst out the single target. If they don't, they immediately fall at a disadvantage here. And there's a Lunox. That was one of the potential picks we were talking about in between the Lunox, or 4 picks. It was the Lunox, Lilia, the Farsa, Kadita. 2 of those options got banned out. One of the remaining 2, though, do get locked in. So I definitely like it. Both of these teams have drafted extremely well, and a lot of the things I felt like they should be taking have been picked up. So I can't really say I find too much wrong with any of these. But look at this, that Bane's being hovered. You've been waiting all day to potentially see this pick.
I've been waiting, I've been talking about him. Bane is a menace.
All right, well, boom, there you have it, folks. That's going to be wrapping up the end of this video here. Honestly, it was a great pleasure casting over this live as the analyst, but even more so fun going back through it. I love playing around with draft theory and draft analysis and flexing some of these draft predictions that you got to see. Any of the picks that you don't see mentioned in the video explicitly while it's going through, we probably talked about it during the pre-draft. If you didn't watch it, the little pre-talk part that I told you could skip, yeah, maybe you shouldn't skip everything. Go back and watch it, do your due diligence. Do your research and do yourself and myself a favor. Head to the comments. Let me know if you love this video, anything you want or don't want moving forward, because this is going to be the type of content we're going to be posting. So I want to make it optimal for everyone that's viewing and make it a great experience for everyone involved, including myself. But with that being said, if you want to follow up gameplay to this, let me know, or any other games to keep my eyes on. I'll definitely look forward to breaking down some of those drafts for you. But until next time, it's been real. It's Coach Deku. Bye.